I'll read out the press statement, which you can pick on the way out. It's a summary of the things we want to discuss. So this conference has been called following a request from the family and the manager to state the media facts as they are, rather than the mixed messages that have been floating around. Yuvraj Singh has been diagnosed with cancer and is currently undergoing chemotherapy in the United States of America. He has a condition called extragonadal seminoma. It's also been known as mediastinal seminoma, located between his two lungs rather than in his lungs. It is very important to understand that this is not lung cancer, nor has it spread or infiltrated into the lungs. Mediastinal seminoma and extragonadal seminomas are rare, which only form less than 1% of cancers on the whole. We are in fact very lucky that this is a seminoma, as these are mostly curable with therapy, and moreover would be unlikely to cause any detriment to Yuvraj's prospective career. On coming Wednesday, that's day after tomorrow, Yuvraj will begin the third of his 9 weeks of chemotherapy in the USA. As expected, in the first few days, Yuvraj did not feel very good. He felt a bit nauseous, but starting this week, he will be hopefully on the mend. Yuvraj has shown tremendous courage and kept his spirits high all the while. The chemotherapy has been planned with the aim of ensuring that Yuvraj can return to full fitness and readiness for cricket. Yuvraj should be able to start active training in about 10 weeks. I feel that Yuvraj Singh, the person, will be cured of this cancer. And most likely Yuvraj Singh, the cricketer, will return with the same fervour that he had when he left. Hopefully he would be on the field by the first week of May. Yuvraj's family has been reluctant to divulge his whereabouts because it has been critical to Yuvi has time to himself to focus on his recovery. He has been reading books, including Lance Armstrong's book, and playing video games, going for long walks, and in fact even sometimes jogging. He is committed to his therapy and recovery. Yuvraj's doctors in the USA, working in collaboration with Max Healthcare Medical Oncology team here, are confident of his recovery. The USA-based team has specially been chosen because of their vast experience with sportsmen, and they have had many positive outcomes, most importantly seeing the athletes return to the field. I met Yuvraj only recently when he sought expert oncological opinion. We were not involved with the initial diagnosis or treatment. Since our initial meeting, we have been involved with coordinating his present treatment and will continue extremely close follow-up after recovery in the future. After much discussion and weighing a number of options with the family and Yuvraj himself, the family decided to get treated as stated above. This was primarily to keep his privacy and allow him to focus on his treatment aimed at cure. Going through the information provided to us, I feel that a presumptive diagnosis was initially made and a second biopsy later undertaken on special testing led to the diagnosis of seminoma in India. This has been confirmed by doctors in USA as well. Thank you.
Miru.
This is the kind of speculation that has been out in the media for the last few days. The status regarding this whole malignancy issue. Secondly, a lot of talk is going on about the initial diagnosis. So by the time he came to you, what was the status exactly? How good or how bad was the situation?
Okay.
And thirdly, everybody's talking about focus on cricket, but really, I mean, if he's walking, he's jogging, everything, that means he's actually able to he's physically fit enough or not?
Okay. So your first question was about his diagnosis, right? So yes, he has a malignancy because we define malignancy in a certain medical way. But especially in the Health Awareness Week, it's important to understand that for Cancer Awareness Week, it's important to understand that malignancies can be curable and malignancies cannot be curable. The cancer word association is quite negative, but the fact remains is he's got a seminoma. Yes, he's got a rare type of even seminoma, but he's got a seminoma which are curable in most patients, right? So that's your first question. This is curable. At least we hope it's curable, right? The second question was related to his fitness. Let's address that first. Obviously, he's not as fit as he was a year ago, but he is far more fitter because of his mental strength than many would be in this situation. So as we discussed with him and we've discussed with physiotherapists in BCCI, we feel that if he's able to do a little bit of training, a little bit of exercising, which he actually enjoys to do anyway, then it will take less time for him to come back to his full fitness in the future. Future is unpredictable, but that's what we're aiming at. Coming to the right or the wrong diagnosis, there's nothing known as right or wrong diagnosis, unfortunately.
What stage when he came to you?
So, from our point, when we saw him, we knew he had seminoma from the investigations here. Okay. So we had some indications from the hospitals that this is likely a seminoma, which has since been confirmed in USA.
Atif.
One of the doctors said yesterday that after he goes through 2 chemos, he might actually not require the third chemotherapy. So, what is what is the exact medical condition? Would he require more chemos, or just as you said, that the third one is starting on Wednesday? And secondly, as we all have been asking, since UV, there's a difference between physically fit and being match fit. So all these chemotherapies and all these sessions, what effect will these have on his playing career? Chemotherapy.
Do you want to answer one question about the chemotherapy?
So, as Dr. Rodki said, these cancers are very curable. In fact, the cure rate is over 95%. And the best example of how capable he would be to going back to his cricket matches is by Lance Armstrong. You can see how fit he is after he is under honesty. So, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be able to perform as he was performing prior to diagnosis in terms of fitness and his professional abilities.
What causes this condition if you can?
So, right. So when we talk about cure rates, we talk about those cure rates presuming that they have received the optimal treatment, which in this case would be 3 cycles of chemotherapy. And he should complete all his cycles of chemotherapy.
And generally, what causes these type of seminomas? What
could be the cause for this? The exact cause is not known, but we do know some risk factors that can put young men, this is a diagnosis which is most commonly seen in young men, can happen in cases where the testes, which is a genital male organ, remains undescended. That's one of the main risk factors.
And in his case, it was slightly unique because it didn't start from there at all. It just started from the center of the chest. So that risk factor, which is the only risk factor known.
What about lifestyle issues?
Yeah, so we have thought about that, and we do not feel that there's any influence of lifestyle issues I think you are trying to target over alcohol, smoking, stuff like that. We don't feel there's anything.
Any more questions?
Father has gone on to say that it's possibly hereditary. But is there any medical basis for that statement?
I didn't understand that question.
Father went on to say today that it's possibly hereditary. It's happened in his family before as well. Would there be any medical basis to that statement?
No.
No, this is not a typically hereditary cancer.
No.
When did he exactly come to you? When did you
This was in the middle of January, in the first or the second week of January.
So what about the chances of recurrence?
I think we would be better answering that questions once we've seen the response, which should be very good, and if it is very good, then recurrence would be very low. But obviously, we'll be keeping a very close eye on it.
So when you always, like you said, you told me to close eye on him once he's back. How long, given that monitoring, is there something that might happen? I mean,
No, there's a very set protocol, evidence-based protocol for monitoring these patients, and we'll be using them to decide when to do a blood test, when to do a chest X-ray, for example, and so on.
What kind of follow-up care will he require once he's back from the initial therapy, after the initial therapy?
Just to meet me once in a while over coffee, I guess. No, we will, as I said, there's a set protocol which will be decided once we see how he is in the end, and based on that we will decide at what frequency he needs to see us, what tests he requires, and take it from there.
When is he expected to be back?
He has 9 weeks of therapy, and he's not going anywhere after that, I'm guessing. No. So we're expecting him by the end of March.